Hello and welcome to this CNN IBN special. It's been less than a month since the BJP-led NDA government took charge at the centre. And already there are several questions which are being raised about the manner in which governance is being done and some critical decisions being taken. With me the man who is the face of the government, the public face as well as the governance face, Minister for Law and Telecom, Ravishankar Prasad. Mr. Prasad, welcome on CNN IBN.
Thank you.
Let me first begin by asking you, sir, about the decision which has been taken by your government just yesterday, which is this 14.6% increase in passenger and freight fare in Indian Railways. Is this how your Achhe Din campaign, sir, is going to unfurl now before us?
First of all, let me tell you that we never knew the state of the country is so bad with the UPA government has left. The railway is bleeding, suffering a loss of 900 crores nearly every day. It has a budget of 4.5 lakh crore. Revenues are not available. And this hike was done in the interim budget in February. But very intelligently, the UPA government said it will be effective when the next government comes. Right. Therefore, ultimately, don't forget, if railway has to survive, give good service, it also needs revenue.
But, you know, Mr. Prasad, I'm very surprised that, you know, a seasoned lawyer, a veteran politician like you was saying that you didn't know the kind of problems which Indian Railways was being confronted with, because I have with me, sir, a letter. Let me just read out to you. I have a letter with me which has been written by the present Prime Minister, who was then the Chief Minister of Gujarat. And when the UPA government decided to hike 20% hike in railways was proposed in 2012. Look at what your present Prime Minister, who was then Chief Minister of Gujarat, said. Was the central government waiting for the results of elections to 5 state assemblies to impose an anti-people and anti-farmer policy? Now in 2012, this hike was anti-people, anti-farmer. In 2014, you are in power. Suddenly you are now telling me that this was the need of the hour.
First of all, let me explain. When I say that, when we come to power, we knew things were bad. We are only trying to understand the enormity of the challenge the UP has left. The way they have mal-governed, almost a wreckage of governance. I'll talk to telecom separately as to what has happened. The state of economy, you well know it. We are trying to restore it. Now, as far as this high compulsion is concerned, let me ask you a question. Why did UPA defer it in spite of announcing in the interim budget in February 2014 sir, to be implemented in the next government?
Mr. Prasad, over the last 5 years, when you were in opposition, sir, when you've been the deputy leader in the Rajya Sabha, how many times have you come and you've criticized the UPA government?
No.
Every time there was a proposal to hike fares, you would say this is anti-people, anti-farmer.
Please listen to me. Please listen to me. When we are giving this, let me say, a little bitter medicine, it is to improve the health of the railway, to restore its for the people convenience, and that's what we are doing. Again repeating, railway is suffering a loss of nearly 900 crore every day.
Fair enough. What about other sectors then? A bitter pill could be administered in other sectors also. Am I then to understand that whether it comes to, say, cutting subsidies in fertilizer, in urea, we're already seeing electricity prices being jacked up in places like Delhi. Am I then to understand that because the state of the economy is so bad according to you, this bitter pill is going to be administered across sectors?
I didn't say that. You must understand. We are restoring governance for the people benefit. Therefore, some hard decision may be taken. But let me tell you, give us that leverage. It will be ultimately for people good. We are trying to restore the whole system properly.
How will it be good for people, sir? Seasonal pass today is going to be doubled. The cost for a common man, the cost of travel in railways, someone who travels in a place like Mumbai or Delhi, who pays a certain sum, let's say 100 rupees or 200 rupees, he or she will be forced to pay double that amount.
I'm really surprised that the mal-governance record of 10 years you are asking me in 20 days? Are you being fair to me?
I'm asking you because you made tall commitments throughout your election campaign.
And therefore...
You pretended as if you had some magic wand, sir.
Please. Even 1 month hasn't passed. You are not giving us the time even to restore things, do things which are important for the people, ultimate good, and fastening the entire liability of mal-governance of 10 years on our soldiers.
So this bitter pill is a part of governance?
No, are you being fair to us?
Is this bitter pill a part of governance,
Please, I'm asking a question.
Yes.
Why should you fasten the liability of mal-governance of 10 years on our shoulders?
No, that's not the point I'm making.
I'm sorry to say your question is like that.
Not at all. I'm trying to suggest to you, sir, that throughout the election campaign over these last 3 months, how many times you, all your senior leaders, you all criticize the UPA government for adopting policies which led to inflation.
For legitimate reasons.
And now that you're in power, your bitter pill is legitimate.
I'm sorry. This particular hike is designed to augment railways revenue, to improve their services, and let me tell you, all the people who have been managing railway have said it was long overdue. Right. I do concede, Bhupen, you have a point. that the people will be literally, a little sense of unease will be there, but we will be able to make them understand, ultimately it is for your benefit.
And again, I just want to go back to this letter only, which was written by Mr. Modi as Chief Minister, and look at the point he makes. He says that a 20% proposed hike in railway freight and passenger fares will ultimately end up hitting Gujarat the most on the coal front, because coal fields are far away. He said rise in railway freight fares since 2006 have caused an additional burden of 19,000 crores in Gujarat on just one commodity. The latest hike in 2012, according to him, would have cost the state of Gujarat 300 crore on power generation. Are all these factors today now, sir? Are all these factors, have they been relegated to the background because you're in power? And therefore, my main question to you is, would you concede today, Mr. Prasad, that there is a big difference in making tall promises, in criticizing the government when you're in opposition and when you actually sit in the chair that you're sitting today?
First of all, Mr. Modi was the Chief Minister for 14 years. Did he deliver or not?
He's the one who said all this, and I'm just quoting him.
Please listen to me first. Listen to me first. Yeah. Did Mr. Modi as the Chief Minister deliver or not? Be it the power front, be it on the governance front, every front. Similarly, Mr. Modi, elected with such a massive majority by the people trusting his ability to govern, please give us their space. And again I come to that, the 20 days, yes, certain major decisions will have to be taken.
Are you willing to give an assurance to the people of this country who will be watching this interview, Mr. Prasad, that either we are in for a round of inflationary measures? The moment, you would know, sir, the moment you increase railway freight, I mean, it will have a cascading impact. Cement prices will go up, cost of transportation will go up, and it will have a spiraling impact on essential commodities. Am I then to understand that this will be a strategy which will be adopted in other sectors as well? For instance, cutting of subsidies, is that also something that your government is considering?
That will be unfair for my part to say that. That is a part of the finance minister and overall. But I am telling you, I am only trying to reply that all these measures are required to restore.
Tough measures, bitter pills. No. More bitter pills needed or not?
You sugarcoat it. I am not going to.
I am using the word bitter pills.
I am sorry.
How is sugarcoating?
I am sorry.
Will I have to pay more? I just want to know this simple question. Will I have to pay more?
No. Why
to survive on a day-to-day basis?
But why should you worry it? Again, I am telling you, my reply to your query is very simple. If 10 years country, the way it has been governed, in such a mess the country is today, and I am seeing as a senior minister of this government, I cannot disclose all the details obviously, okay, but the way the country has been messed up, we are trying to improve things. Give us the time, we will do that.
Now, Mr. Prasad, you've been a minister under Mr. Vajpayee's government as well, and you are a minister now under Mr. Modi. The one critical difference that I as an observer and as a journalist pick up is that Mr. Modi believes the best way to govern is to deal directly through the bureaucracy. Is that a correct perception that I have?
What Mr. Modi is doing is to restore the confidence of the bureaucracy.
And this missive which has now been sent by the Prime Minister's Principal Secretary, Nripendra Mishra, where he is asking all secretaries to preferably send replies to the PMO on their own in certain subjects. My point to you is this, Mr. Prasad, would I be wrong in thinking that maybe Mr. Modi believes the presence of the job of a union minister is actually a hurdle for him?
I think you are being very, very unfair. First of all, please, if you ask a question, either allow me to reply.
Oh, sure, sir.
Or either we go for a debate.
Sure.
Mr. Modi, let me tell you, and I am saying with full sense of responsibility, is one of the most well-informed leaders of the world in matters of governance. His experience, and I am saying in cabinet meeting, the way he gives us guidance, the way he treats an issue, he is a very patient listener. He talks, he understands things. Now what is happening is that earlier we used to have long reply without meeting it. When the secretary will give a reply, naturally it will be seen by the minister. But what is the whole...
no, but that's not, you see, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's exactly what Nripendra Mishra's missive suggests, that a lot of these replies in terms of specific queries to the Prime Minister's office can be sent to the PMO without the approval of the minister.
Mr. Nripendra Mishra has written a letter, come in newspaper. He has said, please give a specific replies. Long reply used to be given earlier.
Is a minister, is the post of a cabinet minister, a union minister in a Modi-led government simply incidental? Are ministers a hurdle for Mr. Modi, sir? And therefore he believes that the best way to deal and the best way to provide governance is to go directly to the bureaucrats?
You are so unfair and biased.
Okay.
And let your viewer know it.
Sure.
Mr. Modi in one stroke removed 87 group of ministers and has asked us to take decisions. He has given all his ministers important position in group of ministers on economic affairs, group of ministers on political affairs. I know how much Mr. Modi consults all the ministers.
So how will this triangle play itself out between the PM, the minister, and the secretary?
It is the bias of Mr. Bhupendra Chaubey.
That may be your perception.
No, it is legitimate perception.
Okay.
That when a senior minister is saying that Mr. Modi is trusting all his ministers, take decisions, come to us when the need is, upon one missive of the principal secretary, you are trying to cloud Mr. Modi doesn't need.
I'm asking you about your governance model.
Therefore, it is wrong.
You have said you have said that you are coming up with a different model of governance, and therefore I'm trying to find out what is this new model of governance that you're talking about.
I do see your eloquence, very important. Your charge is completely baseless. Mr. Modi trusts all his ministers too much. He has given us full liberty, and here is a Minister of Telecom, of Post, IT, Electronic, Law and Justice telling you we are very proud of the kind of discretion he has given us.
Let me then move on and let me draw your attention, sir, to the third subject which has dominated headlines over the last 2-3 days, which is the use of Hindi language. Now, Mr. Prasad, both you and I are equally comfortable in Hindi as well as in English.
Come on, is it an issue, Bhupen?
And I'm glad that you're laughing. I'm glad that you're laughing.
Is it an issue?
I'll tell you why. Because your dear friend, Ms. Jayalalitha, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, is very angry. Is very angry.
I'm sorry.
Jammu Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah is very angry.
I'm sorry. It is not fair. I have my deep personal regard for Jayalalitha.
Which is why
you should not say like that.
No, which is why I'm putting this question to you,
First
sir.
of all, this has been a circular for the last so many years for the Hindi-speaking states. That has been reiterated. And let me tell you, who is saying that English is being ignored? Come on.
Because I see that you tweet in English.
No.
You tweet in English.
And there is a. मैं बहुत शुद्ध हिंदी भी बोलता हूँ.
I know, sir. maybe Hindi उतनी अच्छी बोलता हूँ.
The point is, uncalled for issue is being made.
Uncalled for.
Yeah,
it's not as if that this was an attempt being made by the BJP to somehow make this point.
In fact, I would put it in a different political perspective. That Mr. Karunanidhi was not in circulation for a long time, okay, because of the massive defeat he suffered. Therefore, he had to make a political point after a long time. He sought to make. It didn't make an issue at all.
But there is no seriousness to this.
Absolutely.
It's not as if that you are trying to give this perception. I know that there is a PMO clarification which has been put out yesterday that the government is not against English language. But it's not as if that you want to push down or denigrate English and say that it's not as if that intelligentsia only resides in English.
A minister of Mr. Modi government is talking to Bhupendra Chaubey in English. Is it not fair?
Okay. So you said at that point as well. Let me then ask you, sir, on the question of appointment of governors. I was very intrigued by this comment which was made by your senior party colleague, former BJP President Venkaiah Naidu, who says that all political appointees must necessarily go. Am I to understand that a system which was started over the last 10 years, if not more, is a system which is being followed by the BJP as well? You just want to get rid of one group of political appointees and replace them with your politicians.
Who said that?
I'm asking you whether that's true.
First of all, one is the constitution and one is the conscience. Okay, I think both have to be blended. I have the highest regard for the office of governor, but today let me tell you one thing for the sake of your viewers. I remember Kailashpati Mishra, a veteran leader, was the governor, was sitting in Raj Bhavan, and the same Congress government got their nominee sworn in as a governor even before he has left. We know those things. Okay, I know the kind of charges there have been against the governor appointed by the Congress party. But the point is, can I say one thing in lighter vein, obviously?
Yeah, sure.
You come by the back door and want to go by the front door, isn't it?
So no. So my question was this. My question is: are you replacing political appointees with BJP appointees? That's my point.
I'm only saying the government decision will be taken, and let the decision be taken. As many governors' term is going to come to a close.
Who will be replacing them? Will they not be your senior leaders?
No,
I keep listening to all kinds of names from Murli Manoj Joshi to all other names.
There is nothing wrong. Even Mr. Nehru used to appoint.
No, therefore I'm asking you whether Congress nominees are being replaced by BJP nominees.
After all, if those governors will be appointed, there will be people with stature and good administrative credentials as well.
And they will be BJP.
By the way,
there will be BJP.
By the way, should governors only be reserved for media men and bureaucrats? What do you mean?
No, BDM.
Or retired judges?
No,
tell me.
Therefore, who are the people who should be made governors?
I don't know.
Who are the? You would know, sir. You are the law minister.
No, come on. I don't know. The government will take a corrective call. But I am asking a question to you. Should we appoint only editors as governor?
You keep shifting goalposts.
Not
I'm asking you.
I'm not shifting.
You may make editors part of the BJP.
Today I am provoking a debate.
Sir, you may make media people part of the BJP. Be that as it may. But Bottom line is, are you or are you not thinking in terms of replacing these Congress nominees with your party representatives?
A government decision will be taken. Many of the governors' term is coming to end in 1 month, 2 months' time.
Right.
But let me tell you, even if the governors are exit, they will be allowed to exit gracefully.
Okay. And final question then to you, sir. Since you are the law minister, I must ask you, your cabinet colleague, Smriti Irani, who's the HRD minister, has been accused of giving 3 different affidavits at 3 different points of time. Please tell me, sir, as a law minister, and you know law, do you think that that's something which is acceptable? Is that acceptable to the NDA government?
I think,
because suddenly I have seen the BJP has gone completely silent on that
first
front.
of all, Smriti Irani has explained it. But let me, since I have asked the question.
So she's not explained why she gave these 3 different affidavits.
Just a minute. Since you have asked this question, let me explain to you one thing today.
Yes, sir.
She is a member of the Rajya Sabha and one of the finest parliamentarians in terms of intellectual input also. Let me tell you, she is better than many PhDs.
So that's not the answer to my
That
question.
is the answer, first of all, you must understand.
No, sir.
Because I see a lurking behind this.
No, sir.
A kind of a...
Now you are being biased, sir.
No,
I'm
biased.
afraid that you're being biased. You're trying to shift the goalposts. I've asked you, as a law minister, she has given 3 different affidavits at 3 different points of time. Is that acceptable or not? In strictly legal terms.
First of all,
I'm not saying whether she is good enough to be a cabinet minister or not. That's not my point.
First of all, she is very competent.
Yes.
Secondly, I again reiterate, she is also gave a good run to Mr. Rahul Gandhi. But coming to your specific query, she has clearly explained that there was a supposed minor discrepancy in the earlier 2004 affidavit. That would have been explained. I think she has explained that. But you are making a mountain out of molehill.
Is it a molehill, Mr. Prasad?
Yes.
You believe it's a completely negligible subject?
No.
Because there are some who believe that if a PIL could be filed in the Supreme Court, she could be accused of having committed an act of perjury.
I'm sorry to say that when you know the election laws are very clear, A, and B, in 2004, when she mentioned the educational qualification, maybe in a hurry or whatever, I don't know. She has already explained that. But in the subsequent affidavit, she has been very clear.
That's acceptable to you as a law minister?
No, you are being too judgmental.
So every question to you is being judgmental, sir.
Then I can only tell you, let Mr. Bhupen Chaubey file a PIL against her and get a decision taken.
So, but you, as far as the government is concerned, government is very clear that her explanation is acceptable.
Come on, we judge by performance and she is performing well. Okay.
Therefore, since you talk about performance, the other person who also claims he was doing very well is Nihal Chand. Now I believe that you are the person, sir, who's been asked by Mr. Modi and Mr. Jaitley to be finding out the veracity of these allegations which have been leveled against your minister.
I'm very happy. Let me explain.
What is the story there, sir?
Yes, I'm very happy you have asked me this question. First of all, a little about Nihal Chand. He has been a 4-time MP, coming from scheduled caste. His father has been MP twice.
Right.
Distinguished family. He has been MLA and a good party worker.
Right.
Now this lady was having a problem with her husband. It is not my thing to say about that. She files an FIR in her native place, Haryana. She does not name Nihal Chand. She gives a statement under 164 CRPC before the magistrate. She does not name Nihal Chand. 1. 2. Her husband files a case against her and her in-law, his own in-laws, where she is again examined in Hanuman Gadhi in Rajasthan before the magistrate. She does not name him. The 3rd time she files a 3rd case in Jaipur, where she only says Nihal Chand, not son of so-and-so, though he was a political.
Right.
The police under Ashok Gehlot investigates the matter, finds no evidence. She finds a protest petition, the magistrate examined everything, finds no evidence in 20-page order.
So it's a politically motivated case.
I'm asking a question. She goes to a revisional court, it's right, a notice has been sent. Unfortunately, Nihal Chand becomes a minister. And therefore it becomes a political issue.
But Mr. Prasad, you remember that, when you were the deputy leader in the Rajya Sabha and when PJ Kurian's case came up in Rajya Sabha, what was the position that was taken by the BJP? That there is something called moral probity. That morality demands that someone should step down. Now, therefore, sir, why should I not draw comparison there?
I see your sterling eloquence. Just a minute. I don't, because he is a deputy leader, I don't wish to say anything for. The facts were different. But we were very clear. You ultimately, when the court took a call, we also said that.
So bottom line is, you are backing Nihal Chand. No question of sacking Nihal Chand.
I'm giving you all the reasons.
That's the reason.
Unfortunately, becoming minister, the Congress party is making politics. As simple as that. It has been judicially determined. And the police under a Congress chief minister, Ashok Gehlot, said nothing is found.
Therefore, in conclusion, sir, my final question to you. Since the BJP has a complete majority in the Lok Sabha, there are many who believe that the BJP's majority government will lead to a scenario where the entire process of consensus building will completely be devalued. Is that a genuine fear or not? How are you going to silence those who say that?
I think you are grossly unfair. I never used these words, Bhupendra. You must have seen Modi's speech in both the houses of parliament, where he said, even if I am in majority, I will take everybody along. And if I can quote his word, हम चुनाव के पहले उम्मीदवार थे, चुनाव के बाद हम जनता की उम्मीदों के दूत हैं.
All right.
I think that is the spirit which you need to respect.
On that sober note, Mr. Prasad, thank you so much for speaking.
Thank you.